What Speaking Freedom does online is provide general information for the culture to use to advance and improve. What we do privately is help individualize it for your needs and benefits. Grow with us.
We are kings, we are gods, but how you get them to believe it when they don't believe in anything? We're going to save some lives in this lifetime. We haven't church in a while. Like God's doctor in the streets, the Holy Ghost used me to set them free. If love is the new religion, the hate is sinning, we stay winning. Just handling God's business, we ain't tripping. No bread to be dipping.
Cause we're speaking freedom, giving you the answers to be free.
Okay, so this one is for all believers, especially the deep and super religious people, not just the spiritual leaders. So I was in the shower thinking, of course, I know that what I'm saying is going to challenge everything that you know about religion and your perspective of Christianity, which shapes your thoughts and what you tell other people. And I know that you have to stray away from renouncing what you thought you believed or understood or knew or understand. But when you learn more, you should be able to apply the new knowledge to what you already knew and allow it to grow you further into what you should be instead of what you used to be. So, and I know that all of this is going to, it kind of messes with your mindset of how you take things or whatever, but it's because it enlightens you to the truth of what you've been told to believe in a way that you have not been allowed to believe it. Now I had something else that I wanted to say because I am going to talk about what I'm going to talk about. And then I'm also going to talk about church and religion a little bit and how church and religion has taught me to take my time with people, because I really wanted to talk about how I learned to take my time with people. But when I really think about just thinking about how I learned that took me into more of when I was in church and what church teaches people to do in order to be religious, really, in order to move on and move forward in life. Instead of addressing problems, they make you avoid dealing with the root of the problem, and then you just terminate the surface level results of what you've been used to. So you might quit smoking, you might quit drinking, you might quit quote unquote fornicating or having sex. But if you don't deal with the reason that led you to that, all it will do is pervert the relationship that you begin to have with God through religion. And I say with God through religion because you could go directly to God and God will share with you what he has for you. But when you go through religion, it kind of deteriorates your spiritual journey, because most times religion doesn't have you to explore all the depths of your soul and your mind. So you're not really healing what is causing you to act, be, and think a certain way. So, but how I learned to, because I want to take you through like my journey through church, not religion or my relationship with God, because I learned about God when I was younger. My granddad's wife used to take me to church with her, and we used to go to Bible study and stuff. She would come and get me sometimes. And even after that, I stayed with a friend who would take me to church with them, or, so that's how my relationship with God started. Now, after the incident with my mom, where she tried to kill me, the relationship with God I went towards the Bible myself, because I felt like I needed answers or understanding about life, or, just protection, because I had no covering. But that was not like something new. It was just a new experience that it had went so far. So I opened up the Bible. Now, because I had been introduced to it prior to that, of course. Fast forward to, so that would be about 16, 17, leading up into me going to the military, which 16, 17, I was reading the Bible on my own. I was breaking the Bible down to some people, one in particular that I can think of. But I was also, I was doing my thing, but I was still, learning about who God was for myself. I'll say it like that. And so I didn't really join a church. Like, I was going to church when I joined the military. Like, you get out the barracks or your dorms or whatever by going to church on Sunday. Then you go to lunch, and then, whatever the day holds for that day. So I did that often, but I've always been of no religious preference. For as long as I can remember, really, honestly. And then after joining the military and going to Iraq is when I had my experience with God, and I began to follow, I began to follow Christ at that point before I was introduced into religion. So, because I was speaking in tongues and everything in Iraq, and it was like the weirdest, most strange experience I've ever had in my life, when I was unaware of God. So fast forward after that, I came back and I was going to church, and every time I would go to church, I would get uncontrollable with the way God's spirit would move within me. Like, I would be screaming, shouting, like, just a lot, like stuff that my reserved self honestly wouldn't do on my own. Because that's just not who I was. That's not what I was raised around. So I was exhibiting things that I had really never seen before, when I would go to church. And through that, but before I went to the military, through the time between the incident with my mom and going to the military, like, I watched church on TV. I watched the Jesus Story. Like, they used to, in 2000, or in 1999, probably 2000, they used to send out a VHS tape. They, like, everybody got one. And I watched it. I probably watched that thing like probably 30 times. I maybe that many times. I know I watched it at least 2 or 3 times, just on, it wasn't nothing else to do, wasn't nothing else going on, so I popped it in and I watched, and some of those things helped me make the decision to join the military. To be completely honest, it was kind of, I don't want to say weird. It was very enlightening. It was, those things changed my mind drastically as far as the path that I began to take. But most of that was done on my own. So when I got into the military and, was doing going to church and all of that, and then after that, and when I got out and I couldn't, when I got back from Iraq and I couldn't control how I experienced God's presence in churches, then it kind of scared me away from going, because it was like, shit, I want to be able to control my own self. You start going shouting because the spirit is overtaking you and you ain't got no control over it. That's a whole nother type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you be looking around like, whoa, I didn't ask for this. Where did this come from? What's going on? What is going on? That's how it feels. So fast forward to, getting out the Army, I moved to Atlanta and end up meeting a person that introduced me to another person who was a pastor of a church. Now, I won't use names, but if you already know, then you already know. So this guy introduced me to a pastor that was not operating in his pastor capacity at the time. And when I seen him, it was like, oh yeah, I forgot. Let's check out and see what his church is like. Like I think I had went and purchased me a Bible when I first got back, because that was the thing about the Holy Bible is that it's the only spiritual reference of God that we've been given. Based on an ancient time, that we can freely get and enrich our minds, to say the least. That is the only spiritual book, whether it's the Quran, whether it's, what I'm saying, these religious books are the only spiritual references of God that have been given to us, overall, to learn about God. So those are the references that to go to, because those are the oldest references of God moving that has been shown to you thus far. So with that being said, I had already bought me a Bible or whatever, and I was already I had went and got some little spiritual things that I felt resonated with me even before I was trying to go to this person's church. So after meeting this person, I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna go to the church. And I went to the church and I liked it. Like the word was good. He was saying real nice stuff, like not nice to tickle your ears, but he was on point with a lot of things. And what he was saying resonated with my spirit, with my heart. So I was like, let's do it. So I ended up joining the church. But when I joined the church, I went and I met this other lady, and I was telling her, look, when I was in Iraq, I was speaking in tongues and I didn't understand it, and it scared me. And then when I came back, every time that I have tried to interact within a church, environment, it is an overwhelming spiritual experience that really frightens me. So, I don't know if I would like to pursue, how I would like to pursue basically my relationship with God. But I was like, I think I asked to get prayed for to speak in tongues. But that's something that I was already doing before I got there. It just was given a name to me. So that person has always been cool, a great leader, a very well-spoken, articulate person. She is always in my good graces. She's never done anything to this day. And, I still have somewhat of a communication with a lot of people. But in the experience that I'm talking about, I have to be very particular about every person that I deal with and everybody, because everybody that I have dealt with in church was not bad experiences necessarily. And I'm saying it like this because I learned, I'm gonna show y'all where I'm at. I learned to take my time with people from being in church. And I say that because I ushered at the church that I went to. So I met a lot of people. I was introduced to a lot of people. I greeted a lot of people, so that was something that was a part of my daily routine for at least, I want to say, 4.5 of the 6 years of me being around or in this church environment. So, but meeting all of these people of all these different backgrounds, and everybody come from different places. Like when you meet people, everybody isn't, even if a person is from where you're from, that doesn't mean that they was raised how you were raised. So the values, morals, and thoughts that you have does not mean that they're going to have those thoughts. Even people that's in your church don't necessarily be raised on the same things that you be raised on. So you might be taught 5 different things. They might be taught those 5 different things in a whole different way. If they're taught those things at all, they may be taught 5 other things, or 2 or 3 other things that you learn, and then 3 other 4 3 or 4 other things that you didn't learn. So when you consider that makes you understand needing to take your time getting to know people, because when you go too fast, like, so anybody try to, at this day, when I was younger, it used to be easy to make friends. You just meet somebody, exchange numbers, y'all hang out, everything cool, y'all keep hanging out. You know what I'm saying? But as I get older, I don't go about it that way, and I'm kind of stuttering and watching my words, because I'm gathering my thoughts while I'm saying it. So now it's a little bit different for me, because I realize that everybody isn't raised the same. I realize that over the years I learned through relationships that I had with friends or people that I consider friends that wasn't necessarily being friends to me. Because sometimes you can be around somebody and they could be cool, but that person, if that person doesn't value friendship the same way you value friendship, then her or him saying that they are your friend may just be, you know what I'm saying, a throw around term, because they can say everybody is their friend. If you call everybody your friend, but all of your friends are people that you in business with, or you only get friends based on your business interactions, then those aren't really friends. Those are business interactions that you are being friendly within, because if the business ends, then the friendship ends. So so I met a lot of people, but okay, so where I'm from, I know other people that live in Atlanta that's from where I'm from. All of us don't all move the same. All of us don't have the same principles. All of us don't have the same background. All of us don't have the same parental type of relationships. All of us don't have the same character. None of us have the same personality. But everybody, if everybody could come together, if everybody, you know what I'm saying, decided to link up, it would be nothing but love, like all through and through. I can say that. I know that for sure. But we're all different. And when you learn that people are different, you have to learn to deal with people based on the capacity of who they are versus who you would like for a person to be. So, and I learned this through church. Like, church was not bad to me. A lot of people have had very different experiences with church. The reason why I stopped going to church is more so based on principles of church being more of a business than a spiritual lighthouse. When a church is more about business than being the lighthouse, then they have to run things a particular way. They have to do things a particular way, because at the end of the day, it's still business. And even if they the nonprofit entity, they're still doing it for some type of profit within it. With their salaries, they profit. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, you're getting paid to have a position, but that salary is still a profit technically. You know what I'm saying? So and I have no problem with people having a 501c3. I don't have one, because I am a business that does not work for profit, but I would like to profit when profit can be had. I'm not opposed to profiting, but I don't want that to be something that the government can hang over my head. So I'm just moving a little differently than a lot of people in a lot of ways. But anyways, so I didn't have really a bad experience. I had one little incident, like as far as a representative of the church. But within that experience of me being there, I met a lot of people. I met guys that was womanizers. I met women that were man eaters. I met people that were very nice and clingy and kind of like throw yourself onto people. I met people that were users, so they was nice and they would get to you because they needed you to do something for them. I met people that were genuinely nice, that would not ask you for a thing or not impose anything, but was just genuinely nice people. I've met people that were spiritually manipulative. I've met people that were financially manipulative. I've met people that used emotional manipulation. I've met all these type of people, and these are all kind of like different type of people. I've met people that come from all type of places, that did all type of things, and not just at church, but specifically when I got to learn people that were in my church. It kind of was like, I can understand why you're here. Like you could understand why I'm here. But my journey is different from everybody else's journey. So I don't judge anyone. But based on your personality, based on your values, based on how you do the people that you be around, those things would tell me whether I believe that I could be close to you because of your pattern behavior. So you don't see a person's pattern behavior right off the bat. Sometimes you do. Some people, they'll expose you to who they really are. They don't have to be nobody else. They don't have to hide behind nothing else. They're just flat out who they are. But then other times you got people that's going to be a representative. They're going to be who you need them to be while you need them to be it until they feel like they can be themselves. That can be a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. Some people can be who you need them to be until the end of time, and they never. Some people forget who they were before they are with whoever they are with now, because they've turned that portion of themselves off. So it's like denying a portion of who you really are. So when you begin to deny portions of yourself, you can't be your full self. You can't evolve those areas. So basically, that's what a church kind of teaches overall. This is what I call Christian denial, because instead of addressing your core issues that took you into certain behavior patterns, most people just begin to stop doing the surface level behaviors, and they replace it with something else. It's like people that say to get over one person you got to sleep with another. No, if you don't heal and really take in your mind and consideration the things that you learned from the relationship that you just got out of, the things that the person showed you in the relationship that you just got out of, how you have to, or how you can allow the things that you've learned to adjust the way you move. Sometimes that takes time. You might need a little while, depending on what that relationship it was, how long that relationship was, to adjust to one, who you are now. Because most people, in a span of 5 years, in a span of 2 years, your life can completely change. You can go from a restaurant worker to a millionaire. You can go from a stock boy to a millionaire in your own company. And those can be two different type of companies. But because your life changed, that means your lifestyle changes. The things that you was doing when you was a stock boy or a restaurant worker are not going to be the same things that you are doing when you're a millionaire. And that's not always because your personality changes, but because your interests change. The things that you value change. How you move as somebody that has money has to be different than how you move as somebody when you broke. When you broke, what can a person get you for? They can steal your identity, maybe. They can get some credit in your name, maybe. But when you begin to acquire status, position, when you begin to acquire different elements of success, then people will begin to operate differently when they see you, because now you have something that they want. You have something that they need. You have something that they can use to their advantage to succeed. So, like, and it's certain things that that you'll begin to recognize or see once I begin to talk about what I mean.
Oh, I'm kind of hungry. I ain't eating nothing. So I'm eating at home. I mean, sometimes put snacks in my bed. So that if I get hungry and I'm laying in bed because I don't feel like getting up, I can have something to snack on. Really, so I don't get sick. Because when I was just holding the camera, my hand felt shaky because I hadn't eaten anything all day. But I've been up moving around a little bit. Had a shower. So, this is a little intermission because I felt like I was getting tremors. So, I'm gonna put something on my stomach so that I don't feel that way. Hopefully I remember what I was saying. But it shook me up. Literally. And yes, you do have to listen to this. This part is important too. Man, I was supposed to do something else before I started recording this video and I didn't. But I'm about to do it now. Well, when I'm finished, I'm almost done with this. Sorry for the little delay in the intermission. I got hungry. Well, no, I'm not really hungry. But I got shaken. I'm laughing because I got another snack. Oh. It's so good. Maybe a little munchy. Anyways. So, within meeting all of the people that I met, like, everybody comes off nice when you first meet them. The more they have to gain from you, probably the nicer they're going to be. Especially if they need you or can use you to their advantage. So, if a friendship with you will be beneficial, then some people will be your friend because they see the benefits of being your friend. It's like when people get money and then they become attractive to people that didn't find them attractive when they was broke or when they felt like they was broke. This is really a part of how I help people learn to progress and adjust to being in the limelight. Because when you become famous, when you get money, when you have any type of success, it's like a moth to a flame. You are the flame, and the people are the moths that begin to seek you out because now you have this success. Now, some people, it may not be only because you have the success, but the success makes them be inquired or makes them inquire about you. So, perfect example. The other day I was listening to somebody posted a video of Kevin Hart talking about being in the room with the owner of Amazon. So he was saying that he seen Jeff and he was like, man, I want to go speak to him. His homeboy was like, nah, don't go speak to him. And he like, why not? Like, you know what I'm saying? This is the opportunity for me to introduce myself to him. Even if I don't ask him no questions right now about his success, because he is successful, I want him to know who I am and I want to introduce myself to him. There's nothing wrong with doing this. Nothing at all, especially as another successful person. Because if I'm successful and I introduce myself to you, then I am not only extending the hand of my success to you, but also extending the hand of your success to me. So I'm saying we might have common interests. We may have some things in common. But when a person is in need, in lack, or deficient in any type of way, and they meet somebody with success, their mindset is totally different. When I meet certain people, most of the times, I don't even be caring to meet people because I don't want to meet the person that you need to be in front of people in order to be accepted. I want to meet the person that you are when all hell breaks loose, you know what I'm saying? And when you begin to take your time with people, it's like somebody said, well, I know I say it all the time. Before you marry somebody, you need to see them upset. You need to see them happy. You need to see every side of this person when they're frustrated, when things are working, when things aren't working, how they change up, how they act. And 9 times out of 10, you cannot see that when you first meet a person. Y'all might not experience nothing to know if that person is going to be solid when all shit breaks. You know what I'm saying? All hell breaks loose and shit break down or whatever. If something happens, so you won't see that. So this is the reason why sometimes I get frustrated when I see people just meet a person and then you acting like that's your best friend and you confiding within them everything that you got going on and you bringing them in so closely. And you don't even really be knowing. Just because you think that person is a good person does not mean that they don't have ulterior motives. It doesn't mean that they're a bad person. But there are a lot of people that will get information from you in order to use it to their advantage against you so that they can put themselves in a better position. So anybody that tries to be my friend too fast or sees me and likes me in a sexual way and then wants to get to know me, their desire is led by sex. Their desire to be my friend too fastly, it's led by something. Nobody meets somebody and want to just all of a sudden they pursue a friendship with you and they're not looking for nothing. If I pursue a friendship with you, I'm looking for you to be on my team. I'm looking for you to contribute to a bigger picture, purpose. Not based on what I want you to do, based on something that I've seen in you over a period of time that resonates the divine guidance that God has placed within my mind. And I see your position because or based on roles that you already play, and I see how you move and I see how you do your things day to day. This is why I enjoy social media and being able to see how people move, because and you don't see all of what people do on social media. You only see some of it. But if you are a good judge of character, if you are observant, not a good judge of character, if you are simply observant, you will notice the things that stand out. You will notice different patterns that come up. You will notice how people respond and the things that people talk about. If you really consider what people talk about in their mind state in which they have to be in to speak on certain things, it will show you a lot about where people's minds be at. So a lot of people I don't deal with, not because I think I'm not better than you, or mentally we just don't have anything in common. If you can't educate me on a book, if you can't suggest something to me that is really honestly non-religious, then we might not have nothing in common, because the type of things that I talk about, the type of books that I read, everybody ain't into that. So if you can't help me learn nothing new, if you can't do nothing for me mentally, then I probably don't want to be around you like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, or if you seem like a user, like if every time, like this is the reason why you need time to study people's patterns and the results of the efforts that they make. Because if you see a person that every time they get a new friend, or every time, like if I become your friend because I want to do business with you, and then I pick up that business and leave you, and now we ain't friends because I've already gotten access to the things that I need to access to learn the things that I need to learn, so I don't need you no more, and I keep dismissing people like that, and I keep, I could do this with this person, but as soon as I don't need them no more, then, you know what I'm saying, it's all, like, for me, everybody that I'm cool with, whether it's virtually or physically, like, do you. I'm not trying to control what you're doing, but how you do you will determine on if we would ever do each other together. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me see, rephrase that. It will base, how you do you be based on the basis of if me and you would ever be together, you know what I'm saying, doing whatever it is that we do. Individually, together, you know what I'm saying, whether it's business, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a partnership, whether it's just general conversation. If you move a certain way already, and I could see that pattern behavior, why would I put myself to that? Why would I subject myself to certain things? Sometimes if you just listen to a person and what they talk about, it says a lot. I learned to take my time with people because I realized that sometimes people won't show you who they really are. And then, but I also learned how to make people comfortable to be themselves, because I really don't care who you are. I care about how good of a person you are. I care about your intentions of being around me. And, you know, because the frequency and energy that a user has, it'll drain you. And then you will need to use others to get your frequency together, because your frequency's been drained by somebody that has no good intentions for you. Doesn't necessarily mean they're going to do you bad, but they're not looking to do you good. If I bring you around me, it's something that I want for you more so than it's something that I want for me. I talk a lot of shit about a lot of extracurricular shit, but I ain't really trying to fuck none of these bitches for real. But I do want to be around beautiful women, and I want to show them how to embrace who they are without any limitations. I want to show them, I want to be a woman that is comfortable having other women around that's beautiful, without feeling any type of way. And however makes them feel comfortable. So if I got 20 homegirls, let's say 5 years from now, I got 20 solid ones. Oh my God. I'm talking about, when I think about having a solid one, I'm talking about they loyal. They ain't gonna do nothing crazy. They ain't gonna talk crazy. They ain't gonna act crazy. They gonna honor God first. They gonna be people that pray. They gonna be people that, they might smoke, they might have a drink, but they love God more than they love anybody and anything. And the only person that is and nobody is above God in their lives. This is what I think when I think about having 20 solid, super solid bitches around me, queens that be in my presence around me, helping with Speaking Freedom Enterprise and everything that I set forth to do, based on what God's plans are for my life. I see, you know what I'm saying? What I imagine is 20 business. If it's 20 of us, 21 including me, then these are people that are loyal. They ain't no backbiters. They don't do people wrong. They don't talk negative all the time. They're always uplifting. They're always helping to solve problems. They're always business minded as far as being professional. They're always trying to achieve and help other people achieve. I want the top 20 givers that I've ever couldn't need around me. It don't have to be givers of money. You can give your time. You can give your insight. You can give, you know what I'm saying? Like, and if you want to be new, if out of 20 people, 10 of y'all want to be new, the people that don't want to be new, they ain't got no problem with y'all being new, or if y'all want to be topless, or whatever it is that y'all want to do. If y'all want to eat each other's booties and suck on titties all day, the other 10 people ain't got shit to do with what y'all want to do. We are all there as an individual capacity for what God has called us to do. What we do to enjoy our time while we are doing the things of God, as long as it's not hurting anyone, as long as it's not provoking anyone to anger, as long as you're not doing nothing that's going to cause some other emotion or some other act that is opposite of love, then it does not hurt me for two girls to like each other. It don't hurt me for a girl to like me, because a person liking me doesn't change me, or a person not liking me doesn't change me. But I want to have it where, and these women can have husbands, they cannot have husbands. I don't know how a person with a husband would I don't know how a husband of a woman that is around this type of environment would feel. And I don't know what a woman with a husband that would be in this environment could feel, because a female that's in my top 20 close partners around my house, if that's how many people it's gonna be, you cannot be jealous. You cannot have a jealous spirit and be around 20 bad bitches all day, every day, or as often as we need in order to do the things that we have to do. I'm talking about trap. I mean, and it may not be 20. It may be, let's say I get 10 girls, probably the new ones, because they turn up. Let's say I got 10 girls. And those are the people that I travel with, whether they could be assistants, they could be hair, they could be nails, they could be, you know what I'm saying? It don't have to be, and the goal, the hope would be that they are people that are my friends, and those friends have services and have qualities and have things that I already need. It's just so happened that you do it, but you didn't do it because I told you to do it or based off of your connection to me. You did it because that's what you have a passion about. And because you have a passion about it, we can use you and your passion and pay you based on your passion. Let's say you got a passion for hair. Well, okay. You're my friend. You've been loyal. You've proven how loyal you are. I can look at your patterns of behaviors of the past, and I can see that you have always been consistent without regards to who the friend is, without regards to who the person. You've never been a user. You've never been a manipulator. You've never been, you know what I'm saying, crazy, like tear up people's shit for no reason or to get your way in a manipulative way. Then, I want you, if I need somebody, okay, let's say I need somebody to do my hair. Why would I pick a stranger that I don't know when I can pick somebody that I already know, that I trust, that I already plan to be around for the next 80 years, you know what I'm saying? If God has our relationship going that way. Well, if nothing else, in the time that we have, then let me help you learn, grow, and all of these other things. But that's not somebody that you just meet and now they know all your personal information. They know what you're doing, what you know what I'm saying? Those are for trusted people. This is because I'm trying to think, because I know that somebody's going to be like, well, how did she start talking about how she met people like that in the church and all of that? And then now she's talking about me learning from church people that you can't just trust a person because they're in church. But when you know what I'm saying, all of those things teach you to give time for people to show you who they really are, so that you don't say, or you don't base a relationship with the person off of your expectations for them to be a certain way. And then when you realize that they're not the way that you wanted them to be, because you've made this your own conception of who they are, despite what they're showing you, despite any red flags, despite, you know what I'm saying, some of the things that they say that may rub you the wrong way. Because some people, they know how to be manipulative. Some people have been doing this as a way of survival. There are people that learn to lie. There are people that learn to look for weaknesses or vulnerabilities in you and then use that against you. There are people that they expect you to be gullible. They want you to be gullible so that when they need to get over on you, you don't even see. Like, damn, I didn't even realize that they was doing. That's how I felt with my ex-husband. I didn't even realize. I seen little stuff, but you just write it off. And then Christian denial don't help, because Christian denial tell you that all you gotta do is go to the altar. As soon as you get to the altar, then you are a new creature. Christians don't be like, okay, you go to the altar, you get prayer for salvation, you confess the salvation over your life, and then you have to go home and begin to work on the things that you know you need to correct, or that you know that makes you feel like you even need to be at the altar. And then once you begin to work on those things, then you will have a different way of thinking, because Christ is going to make you look at yourself. At some point, you cannot just stop at, well, I got saved, I'm going to quit going to the strip club. Well, what was it that was making you go to the strip club to begin with? Was you going there for pleasure or for business? And if you feel like you got to stop going to the strip club because you got saved, then what mental thing are you replacing when you decide that you're no longer going to do that? So you're going to take your money from one place and put it into another place. But is that place, the strip club might not be helping you grow, but is the church helping you grow? Like, is it helping you to expose the parts of you that you need to go in and heal and change? Because there are parts of you that you need to go in and heal and change that will mature your soul in a real way, because you are addressing the issues that cause you to have these patterns of behavior. So if I am promiscuous, sleeping around, and I try to stop sleeping around, and I start doing something else religiously, like going to church, or, you know what I'm saying, just doing something to take up the time that I would normally be sleeping around. If I do not address the reason that got me to sleeping around, then that, even though I stopped sleeping around, the addictive nature associated with covering that up will go to something else. So I might stop sleeping around, but then I might start wasting money, splurging, or shopping all the time. Or even if you are a consecutive business starter and none of those businesses are successful and you just keep starting business, I'm not judging you.
I'm just saying you wasting a lot of money starting new stuff instead of taking your time to figure out what you really like, what you're really into, what you really want to do, what you can really dedicate your mind to, so that you can be successful at what you really want to do instead of trying everything. Hone in those skills, figure it out what you really want so that you can begin to do what it is that you want to do versus doing all these other things, losing money and failing. And you think you're not failing because you starting all these businesses, you're a serial entrepreneur, you got it. But every time something really doesn't work the way that you hoped it to work, you are diminishing your own mental capacity to have hope that the next thing will work, and the next thing, or the next thing. And then you would just be doing it just because you just then got in the habit of starting new shit without finishing anything or without it really being successful. When it's like Lalo Brown, like Lalo Brown said, it's better to cut something once because you've measured it 10 times than to measure it once and need to keep cutting it, or you miscut and now you got to start all over again. So I'm trying to wrap this up now. So it's the same thing. It's better to take your time to be friends with somebody, to learn if you want to be their friend, especially before you start talking about, this is my best friend, this is my best friend, I can't live without him. Because when you put too much emphasis on a person being your best friend too quickly, you are setting yourself up to be hurt by a person that you barely even know, because you hadn't gotten the chance to really know that person. That person is only being good around you. That person is only showing you the light around you. You know what I'm saying? The person is only going to be a certain way around you, and they might slip up and you might see a little bit of something here or a little bit of something there. But consistently, because you're not around them enough, they're only, and wait a minute, this is important. Because they want to impress you, because they're trying to put on a certain amount of, somebody might try to act like they're successful. Somebody might try to act like that they're happy if they're not really happy. Some people, they're going to put on a certain air about themselves to impress you, to bring you in, to make you think that you can believe what they're saying, that you can trust them, that they have the best intentions for you. And this is why you can't have people be your friend too quickly and think that they're like your best friend in the whole wide world if you barely know them, because they could be saying that, but your definition of friendship may be different than their definition of friendship. Just because you view a best friend like a sisterhood, they might say sisterhood and they got fucked up relationships with their sisters. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not saying that in no way because I don't have anybody that I'm close to like that. I've tried to be close to people, and normally when people do stuff to me, I back away. And not like the people that I knew the longest that hurt me kind of caused me to be even more, you know what I'm saying, reserved, because it was like, okay, the people in the church disappointed me when I realized that a lot of it was smoke and mirrors, and people would come to church and act like everything is good and go home and shit be fucking haywire. But guess what? That's what I end up doing, because that's what, you know what I'm saying, you go to church, you everything, hallelujah, everything's fine, Lord, yeah, Lord, everything is great. And then you go home and you goddamn hate your life, you know what I'm saying? So this is why you cannot just automatically be like, oh, this is my best friend forever. And I'm not saying that you won't meet some people that will be really good people and you know, all of that. But it takes time to get to know people, to know if they are, one, who they say they are, especially if you meet them on social media, man. Catfishing is not just a person not being who they say they are. I mean, that's the definition of it based on the TV show. But catfishing is also if a person pretends to be a good person and they really evil, if they really, you know what I'm saying, if a person pretends to be mature and they really not, like, if a person pretend, you know what I'm saying, like a person can act like the same way people go to church, act like everything okay, and then go home and be crying or be crying in the car, you in the church.
praising, but don't nobody know that you know what I'm saying, you barely eating, you know what I'm saying? And it's not a jab at anyone, but I'm saying it takes time to get to know a person because you don't know what goes on behind closed doors, especially if you've never seen them upset, if you've never seen them defeated, if you've never seen them. And sometimes people can be good in defeated states and then they start winning and they change. Some people will love you as long as y'all both down at the bottom, but as soon as y'all get to the top, then it's a problem. And sometimes those problems was already underlying issues, but y'all had so many things in common that the problems were overshadowed by the things that you had in common in the lower part. But when you don't have those, if y'all both not broke no more, then, and y'all both was broke, or, you know what I'm saying, when you begin to have success, your variety of options become open. You know what I'm saying? You expose them more, you can do more, you see more. You don't become a different person, but you do begin to move differently. It's like life is like chess. And you got pawns, and then you got the king, the queen, you got the knights, the and all the other people. I'm not about to go through all of this, but people that you just meet are like the pawns. They're expendable because you don't really know who they are yet. So you have to deal with people and put them in the pawn type of position when they try to be close to you until they earn a knight. A person don't just become a knight for, you know what I'm saying, they don't just become a knight. You don't just get to be the right hand man to the man. You know what I'm saying? It becomes because you've been watched, because they monitor you. They seen how you move and they like the way you move. So they need you in that position because you are the type of person that needs to be in that position. Not because you applied, but because of the actions that you have that's consistent. And that's the real basis of how you should bring people into your life for friendship.
I decided long ago never to walk in anyone's shadow. If I fail, if I succeed, at least I live what I believe. No matter what they take from me, they can't take away my dignity. Because the greatest love of all inside of me is sexuality.
Thank you for joining Speaking Freedom as we continue to assist you with your daily growth and intuitive wisdom. Loving is a lifestyle and we love to love. Inspiration is how we fuel faith. Please join us daily for your inspiration and motivation.
We have the entire world to offer you at your fingertips. Your life enhancement coaching specialist. Thank you for choosing us to assist you in accomplishing your personal and professional goals. And have a beautiful day. In love, we trust. This is brought to you by Good Head Group, Love Gang and Speaking Freedom. We thank God for you, and we love you.